Hello, welcome to a video tutorial on business services in Virginia. I'm Heidi Silver-Paquilla, Adult Education Coordinator at the Virginia Department of Education.
And my name is Brett Tavel. I'm the Rapid Response State Coordinator based at the Virginia Community College Systems Office.
Thank you for joining us for this tutorial. As you know, the Workforce Opportunity and Innovation Act, or WIOA, emphasizes that workforce development partners cooperate to meet the job seeker and employer needs in their states. The Combined State Plan is the strategic roadmap of how the partners will work together. For Virginia, one of the key elements of the Combined State Plan's vision is that every business has access to a qualified, job-ready workforce, and every Virginian has the skills needed to connect with meaningful employment and advance in a career. This vision drives policies and actions enacted by the state agencies. Specifically for this topic, serving businesses, state agencies are guided by the Virginia Board of Workforce Development Policy 403-01, which provides the manner in which agencies and their subgrantees coordinate business services, common definitions for agencies to use, and reporting requirements and mechanisms. Brett, can you give an overview of how the information about serving businesses is collected and reported in Virginia, and what kind of data you have to report for the first year?
So the way we collect the business services data is that we use a very simple spreadsheet where we just collect the business name, the business address, the service provided, the NAICS code for the business, and the business by establishment size. And what we're going to do is go over the information that we gathered for 3/4 of the last program year that we collected data for. From October of 2017 through June of 2018, the state of Virginia, through all of our various reporting agencies, provided services to 15,284 Virginia businesses. The total number of services that were provided were 15,643. On average, we were providing about 5,000 services to businesses over each quarter, and each quarter we were serving 5,000 businesses, so roughly about the same. When we look at the types of services that were provided by Virginia's workforce system, recruitment by far was our most provided service to business, and it's also our most needed service from businesses in this really good economy. Next up was registered apprenticeship. With the press for registered apprenticeship across the state and across the U.S., this isn't surprising that such a high number of businesses are pursuing registered apprenticeship. Following that is training, which includes everything from incumbent worker training to OJTs and any other sort of type of training that we can provide to a business. When we look at the size of the businesses that were served in the Commonwealth this past year, most of them fell under 250 individuals by establishment. That means that a lot of the workforce system was serving small businesses and not just the super large corporations that may be present. When we look at the NAICS codes of the businesses that were served, manufacturing was the most commonly served business type, followed by healthcare and social assistance and professional, scientific, and technical services. When we look at the services by partner program, we see that the VEC Wagner-Pizer program had the most business services, followed by the local workforce development board's Title I program. That includes the adult, dislocated worker, and youth programs. Next up after that was the Department for Aging and Rehabilitative Services. These are some of the largest programs in terms of funding and size here in the Commonwealth, so that makes sense about why they would have some of the most services towards businesses.
Thank you. That's so interesting to see that the workforce development partners are mainly serving small to moderate businesses. I think it's less surprising to see that the main service is recruitment, since that's what we think of as the role of a one-stop career work center to match workers to open positions. But I noticed that adult education, funded by Title II of WIOA, is not on your slide. So, beginning our reporting on business services is what this technical assistance tutorial is all about. We know that adult education programs running integrated education and training cohorts are working directly with employers. It's part of the model of the IET design to respond to local workforce development needs and prepare adults for available positions within career pathways. The Virginia Department of Education is funding IET programs in multiple ways. Of course, Plugged In Virginia is a successful state-funded IET model that has been offered around the state for many years, offering contextualized academics and occupational skills training. Now, with the allowability of occupational training under the WIOA funding, we see federally funded IET programs in the Integrated English Literacy and Civics Education programs, abbreviated here as IELCE, which serve non-native English speakers, in the local activities with students in adult basic or adult secondary education programs, and we've seen some interesting IETs running in the corrections and institutional programs, abbreviated here as CNI. Some of the direct engagement with employers that we have seen already underway in these IETs are the involvement of employer partners in the design and recruitment phase, in career fairs and reverse career fairs as the cohorts near completion of their training and credentialing, and in the requirement in the IELCE programs that the adult education provider work to place students in employment. As adult education programs begin collecting and reporting data for the statewide Business Services Report, we will begin with asking the programs running IETs to report how they are directly serving businesses. The reporting, as you saw in Brett's slides, focuses on three elements: the industry, the services provided, and the size of the businesses. Similar to the slide you shared, Brett, the industries in which the workforce partners are serving businesses, we can see on this slide that IET programming is being offered in areas such as retail, education, transportation and warehousing, manufacturing, healthcare, which were your top two, and accommodations and food services. And the NAICS codes are listed here too, the 2 digits. Workforce Recruitment Services was the most common service reported last year, and we would imagine that this would cover most of the engagement adult education programs have with employers in the context of their IET activities. The definition is quite inclusive. It includes supporting employers' search for qualified candidates, promoting job openings, and organizing, conducting, and participating in job fairs, screening, and interviewing events. There are other services defined in the guidance, so do look those over to determine if you may be providing those services as well. In order to report the size of the business, you may know this from your work in the community or direct conversations with your employer partners, but you can also look this up at the Labor Market Information Database at the link provided. It's also important to emphasize that the report collects each establishment served and will ask for a street address of the business. For example, if you're working with 2 particular pharmacies in your community to fill open pharmacy technician positions with your IET graduates, those 2 establishments count as 2 separate businesses, even if they belong to the same corporate chain. This slide gives you a snapshot of the Excel spreadsheet that you'll use to report your business services quarterly to the Adult Education State Office. Again, the report focuses only on these 3 elements per business served: the industry, the services provided, and the size of businesses. Plugged in Virginia, which is state-funded, and the federally funded programs will be collected and reported separately. The report is compiled quarterly, and the data is due from each state agency to the Virginia Employment Commission by the 15th of the month following the end of the quarter. This means that the department must have each program's report no later than the 10th of each month so that we can compile the data for a single submission. We're proud of the work that you're doing to advance workforce development in Virginia. You're helping Virginians get on a path to family-sustaining and meaningful careers and helping our community businesses thrive. Thank you for the work that you do every day. This has been Heidi Silver-Paquilla, Adult Education Coordinator.
And this has been Brett Tavel, Rapid Response State Coordinator.
Thank you for listening, and please contact us if you have questions.